Welcome to Princeton Tonight. I'm Jordan Salama, and our guest today is an actor who's been featured in Inside Amy Schumer and Trainwreck. He's a New Jersey native from Penns Grove who's coming to Princeton to share his hilarious one-man show, Pryor Truth. Please welcome Khalil Muhammad.
Hey!
Hey.
Hello. Welcome. So am I the first black person on your show?
No.
No, I'm not. Oh, okay.
No.
I really wanted to be the first for that.
Okay.
I wanted to be the first for that. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, it is a new show, but Khalil, you're from New Jersey. We're so excited to have you. You went to Rutgers. You're from the area. But you didn't originally go to school for acting here. No. So how'd you start?
So, like you said, I'm from Penns Grove. I graduated in 1999. You know, Prince actually made a song about that. So it was destined that I graduated. Now, do you all know about, 1999?
No.
Long before your time. But no, so I left, I didn't leave Princeton. I left Penns Grove, and my first year I went to Morgan State University. I changed majors, so then I changed schools, and I went to Rutgers Newark. And from there, I studied radio broadcasting. I was in my third year of college, and I decided I was not happy.
You don't like this? This isn't radio, but it's
well, if I went here, then it would be a different experience. I mean, this is different. Like, I've been here for like a good 24 hours, and it seems like everyone is just studying. Like people are studying in like the hallways. They're studying in every like nook and cranny. I was taking a dump, and this boy was studying at the urinal. I mean, like, can you just give it a break? I mean, it's just in the air. Like, you walk around the campus, and it's just like, I smell information, while I'm here. I do. Is
this something that upsets you, or are you happy about this? Like, how does this make you feel?
No, I feel like I was so stupid at 18. Like in high school, I should have been a little more focused. If I would have went to Princeton, I mean, goodness, like Princeton University.
Hey, well, look, I mean, we like our studies, but we also like to have fun.
We like that. Yeah, but when you graduate, like Princeton is on your resume, there's certain things that are guaranteed when you have a Princeton degree, and I call it the 3 Ps. One is pride, right? The second is that pay. Now, what would the third P? You're a smart boy. What would the third P be, Jordan? Once you graduate from Princeton, you are guaranteed 3 Ps.
3 Ps, pride.
Pride, pay, and...
Pryor Truth?
That's not it. That's not it. We're going to phone a friend.
What's the third P?
What do you think the third?
I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on and talk
3
about
Ps.
studying.
Yes. It's 3 Ps.
So, have you ever professionally studied theater then? Because you stopped school for broadcasting, then theater. How'd you get into that?
Yeah. So I went to William Esper Studio. So I left Rutgers. I felt like I just wasn't happy. So I went on my first audition, and I was fortunate enough to get that first audition. I booked the role. I got that role. It was a off Broadway production.
It's kind of crazy story how you got it. Right?
Yeah, it's really crazy. So that particular day, okay, let me just rewind a bit. So I'm at Rutgers, and I think I'm in like a lobby or something like that, and I hear these theater students, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go on this audition, blah blah blah," and they happened to mention it was NewYorkCastings.com. So I said, okay, I'm going to check out the site. I'm going to be nosy. Let me just see what, to step into their world. So I go on New York Castings, and there's this one post about this play called Happy Birthday, Madam Alberta.
Okay.
2 weeks prior to that,
Pryor Truth.
prior to that, I saw the play. Okay, give it. that's one. That's one.
Okay. Anyway, 2 weeks prior.
2 weeks prior, I saw the play Aida. So while I'm in the audition process, I'm like, oh my goodness, the director is the same guy that's in Aida. So the monologue that I had in mind, that I had prepared for, I just froze. I'm like, oh my
starstruck, basically.
I'm starstruck, yeah, because I'm like, you were just on Broadway and I'm auditioning for you, and oh my goodness. I bombed. And this never happened. So he said, okay, you did a terrible job. F. He said, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to go outside, splash water on your face, and you better come back a little more prepared. So I said, okay. And I see these actors, they're going in and out, and they have these portfolios, and I just had a Polaroid. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, oh God, I'm wasting my time. I felt so stupid. But I knew in my mind, I think I was 23 at that time, I knew in my mind that if he's giving me an opportunity, this theater actor, this Broadway star, in a sense, if he's giving me an opportunity,
he sees something in you,
then I have to do my thing. I have to get it together. So I go in, and this next time I do a much better job. I get the role, and I, in a sense, was bit by the bug.
And that's where it began.
And that's where it began,
Okay.
And it just was like a year of just acting, working on instincts, and then that's when I had it enrolled at William Esper Studio.
Mm-hmm. And that is, I'll let you take a drink, but while I
Yeah.
ask,
Now, is this vodka?
No.
Oh, but this is Princeton. Nice.
Princeton University
Nice.
brand.
I'm going to keep this bottle.
It's bottled in Katona, New York.
Mmm.
Fun fact.
Katona.
Katona, New York.
Something special must be in Katona.
Special Princeton water.
Special Princeton water. Yeah.
So speaking of Katona, which is in New York, which is where the William Esper Studio is, that's how you got involved in the collective.
Yes. Well, in a sense, it's a 2-year conservatory. Many of the founding members, Victoria, who's actually my executive producer, Kevin, who is the artistic director of the collective, and Amy Schumer, she was one of the founding members. They had started the collective. We were in the same class. Victoria, Amy was in another class, I think, at that same time. Mm-hmm. We had broken up after our first year, but I've been knowing, Amy all that time. After the 2-year process, they formed the collective. I believe I was like on the road. I was fortunate enough to have booked a role doing another stage production. So when I came back some years later, I had joined, when they reformed again, I had joined the collective. So I've been, part of the founding member, their friends and whatnot, right, for quite some time.
And that's helped you get roles in Inside Amy Schumer and Trainwreck. How does that, what is that like? That must be awesome.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, it's nice when you know the star and she just calls you up and she's like, listen, do you want to be, this, I think this role is great for you, whatnot. That's the great thing. Amy has really looked out for tons of people, within the collective. She, in a sense, has taken us on that ride. I've been knowing her, I think a good 7 or 8 years personally, and she's just been welcoming, throughout the process of her career. So I've been fortunate to be on stage with her. I think one time we had worked on a scene. It never really came to fruition, but since then she has done just some great things. Inside Amy Schumer, Trainwreck. Each season I've been blessed to have had a role or two.
And the great thing is that a lot of the things she does, she creates, and now you're going on to create your own one-man show, which you've been bringing all over the place, and it's really exciting. It's called Pryor Truth.
It's called Pryor Truth, yes.
Can you tell us about Pryor Truth?
Well, Pryor Truth, so I developed Pryor Truth with the collective. Mm-hmm. Pryor Truth was developed in the same room and amongst the same people as Trainwreck. I'm really proud of that. And I find Amy to be a great example. She brings her work to the collective. It's a development process in which people, actors, writers, directors, they give their critique, for writers. And I'm a first-time writer. So I brought Pryor Truth in, they're my friends, so they know that I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. Mm-hmm. I went to them, I think it was late 2013, and I said, okay, I want to do something about Richard Pryor, his life, whatnot.
Why Richard Pryor? I mean, first of all, you guys look very similar. I don't know if people tell you that. a lot.
Oh, yeah. I've received that ever since I was a child. Like, you know, people have always said, you look like a little Richard Pryor. You know, like people have just, you know, since I was about 5, and I was a fresh little kid. So, you know, if adults said that to me, you know, they were, you know, I would walk away like, why are they comparing me to a man that was like burnt? Like, you know, I was a fresh little kid, so I didn't say it to the adults, but I'm thinking like, you know, because I was born in 81 and he had the fire, I think 82 or 83. So when I had consciousness, it was about 86, 87. And I'm like, well, why they compare me to a guy? You know, that was just my recollection at that particular time.
Right.
And over the years, people, especially when I got into acting, people were like, oh, you look like Pryor. And casting directors would say that. And I was like, okay, do I still have to get this?
Was there something else that drew you to do a one-man show about Richard Pryor's life besides the fact that you look like him?
Well, someone gave me his autobiography. I think I was about 19 or 20. I read it, but nothing really set with me. I was really amazed by his life, but I think that at that particular time, what I read, I just took it for face value, like, wow, oh, wow, okay, and then put it aside. Then moving here and there, changing colleges, I think I came across, it was called Prior Convictions. And I was moving a box one day, and I was like, wow, okay, well, let me read it again. Now, this is like 5 years later. And I read it again, and I read it in 2 days this time. I'm like, wow, the things that he were going through at that particular time, I had a much more of a connection to it. And it started to have some, it moved me, because now I'm an actor in my life now. So I'm like, okay, wow, I was just amazed. And when I walked away from that experience, I'm like, okay, as an actor, well, has anyone ever done anything about Richard Pryor? And I think that as actors, we are always asked, well, what would be that dream role that, you know, you want?
Yeah.
And for me, it started to be, okay, I think I want to do something about Richard, something, because now I have these ideas and I'm connected to his life and to his work. So it's like, well, how can I do it? And that's where the collective came in, because we had a meeting amongst all of our members, and our artistic directors went around the room, and this is around that same time where Pryor Convictions came around again in my life, the book, and this was 2 years ago. And at that same time, I started to just order films of his, of his work. And the artistic director said, well, what is that one role that you all want to do? You know, whether you have to blind cast yourself, whatever it is. You know, some people said some classical work. And then when it was my turn, I said, you know, I was like, well, that's the only thing that I have to offer in like what I want to do. And I said, okay, well, I want to do something about Richard Pryor. And I was a little timid to share that because, you know, little old me, I'm saying that I want to do something about this legend, and I felt so far off. You know, how do I reach that? And that's a great thing, is to have people that are visionaries, because then sometimes they see things in you that you don't even see in yourself, or you don't have the confidence at that particular time.
To say, I want to be like Richard Pryor, I want to do a show about Richard
Or
Pryor.
you should do it. Like, you should do it. Don't say that I want to do it, but then what are you going to do about it? You know. And that's what I needed. I needed someone to say, okay, well then let's take it even further. What are you going to do about it? And how can we help you make that happen? Right.
And then you developed this great show, which is based around the character of Mudbone, which is Richard Pryor's very famous character. Did that have some sort of, power in your decision to start developing the show further? Like, what was your connection to Mudbone specifically, past Richard Pryor?
Well, Pryor, if you see any of his comedy albums, the film versions, within 10 minutes, he would introduce you to like several different characters, like automatically, like, wow, I've met like 5 or 6 different people. But consistently throughout all those albums, Mudbone was just one that just, I felt like I knew Mudbone. There was a Mudbone in my life. Like,
how would you describe Mudbone?
Oh. Mudbone is the old man that, in a sense, he's a historian. You know, he is the truth teller. He is the one that will give it to you whether you're ready for it or not. You know, he is, in a sense, the person that if you had moved on from a little town, you come back, Mudbone is there. Mm-hmm. He knows your family. He knows you. He knows when you were born. He knows your mom. He knows your dad. He knows everything about you. And then he's a historian. So Mudbone is the person that you can also go to get advice from. But Mudbone is the person that everyone loves. Mm-hmm. Because he's just someone, I think that his characteristics, we all have that Mudbone in my life. And instantly, I have quite a few people, well, two in particular, who I go, okay, that's my Mudbone.
Mm-hmm. And there's no better person than Mudbone to tell the history, I guess, of Richard Pryor. Is that why it's called Pryor Truth?
Well, the reason why it's called Pryor Truth is because the truth about it is that there's a lot about Richard Pryor's life that's not funny. Mm-hmm. It's just not funny. And there's a lot about his life that I think that people don't know about. And I think that that's the man. You want to know the man, the legend, but who was that little boy? You know, who was he when? So I think that for me, it made the most sense to have or use Mudbone as the vehicle to tell that story, because then he would be the one to say, listen, I knew him when, so I can provide you with the information of who he was when. You think you know him, but I know him even better, and let me tell you about it.
I'm glad well, that Mudbone knows Pryor, mm-hmm. but you also now know Mudbone very well. So we're going to play a little bit of a game.
Okay.
See how well you know the character of Mudbone. It's called What Would Mudbone Say? I'm going to give you some topics, and you're going to have to, on the spot, in the character of Mudbone,
okay,
tell us what Mudbone would say about these things. Okay, so are you ready? Do you need a few seconds to mentally
adjust
prepare
things?
yourself? Yeah, adjust things.
Now I might need a moment.
Oh no.
To adjust, because you know this leg here. Now, I don't know if you folks have taken some attention to these shoes that I have. That's right. Now, we don't need to compare the two, because them shits look right there like you've been walking miles and miles, boy. But okay.
I took you on a tour of the campus last
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But mine still are not as scuffed as yours. I just want to know, I walk fine. That's right. It comes with age. You're going to learn. Yeah,
so are you ready?
I'm as ready as you ready.
Okay, so category one.
Category number
What would Mudbone say about Donald Trump?
Donald. You talking about that fool that all own them things in the Atlantic City, man? You know, lately, he's a motherfucker. Yeah. I was watching that TV one day, and that man, because I still don't know, because, Mudbone don't give a fuck. So I'm watching that TV, and I'm still flabbergasted is the word. Yeah.
Good word.
Yeah, it's a good word. That hair, ain't nobody snatched that thing on top of his head yet. And he been talking about the Mexicans. Now that ain't right, talking about folks like that. Now if I was a Mexican, I would get him good. I would get that motherfucker good. I would wait, because he gonna get old. He gonna get old, and ain't nobody gonna want to give him that health care and attention. So I'd wait some good 15 or 20 years. Now, the truth is many minorities in these nursing homes or whatnot. And one day, that Donald Trump gonna come running in there one day. Or someone is gonna stroll his ass in there. Because ain't nobody gonna take care of that old bastard. Ain't nobody gonna take care of him. And there's gonna be a minority in there. You can't be fucking with the minority. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna be good 75, 85 years old. And if I was them Mexicans, I'd show his ass something each and every day. You want to run me out of here? Pay-out! Shit. I'll do that to him every damn day. Time for your medication? That's right. Wow. I showed him. That's what I got to say about
So Mudbone, you seem to have some very strong views about Donald Trump. So
yeah.
Let's move on to something that's not politics. So maybe we'll see what you feel.
Sex?
No. Not sex.
Yeah, it's not sex.
Talk about sex.
You got excited about that, though, boy. Because the birds and the bees. It's natural, the birds and the bees. You can't fool around with them birds and them bees, because them bees are stinging. That's right. And them birds, they hit it and fly away.
I feel like you know what you want to talk about.
Oh.
You need, like,
Well, go ahead.
all right, so Taylor Swift. What would Mudbone say about Taylor Swift's music?
Taylor Swift, I like that girl. And I didn't think it was right for that mother, what's his name? He's married to the big button, what's her name? Her stepdaddy, and he done changed, and he's in them dresses now, and what's his name? Kanye West.
Kanye West. I was thinking about that. I don't know if I should.
Now, Kanye West, that's a damn shame with that boy there. He got up there and interrupted. Now, she was a sweet little young girl. Got up there, she writes the music. One thing about that Taylor Swift, now I wouldn't date that one. No, she too smart for my kind. But sometimes, because she writes them songs about folks, and I'm telling you, you think your mama and daddy be proud of you, and they turn on that radio, and she'll make a song about you, make you feel like you ain't nothing. You can't fool. She's a special girl, but I wouldn't date her for that reason. She know too much. She's too good at what she does, but she's a sweet ass girl though.
Because you'd never, ever get back together if you broke up with.
Well, I do have a thing about the women's. Now, sometimes, the truth is, sometimes things don't go right.
Right.
And you got to talk to these women real special. You got to say, baby girl, I didn't mean to say what I said to you. Like you right there, baby. I didn't mean to say what I said to you. I didn't. Sometimes I'm an asshole, But that asshole needs a filling. And it needs to be filled with love. So if you have love to fill my asshole, right.
I'm just kidding. We have more categories for the game. We can't have you talking to our audience.
She don't mind.
I
She don't mind.
I hope she doesn't.
No. Well, she brought her here.
This is true.
That's right. She don't mind. She ain't
She
got
doesn't
no.
mind.
It's
You're
Friday,
You're right. Okay. Next category.
Next category.
If Mudbone had a Twitter account.
What is that?
You don't know what that. Oh, I'm not the person to explain it to you, but.
What is Twitter? No, you explain it.
Okay, it's like a thing where you write things on the computer.
In which
It's you write
things.
short messages
Okay.
to promote things about yourself.
Oh, I can
Yeah,
do that.
yeah. So
Okay.
if Mudbone,
No, that's right.
because you are Mudbone, if you established a Twitter account, what would be your first? They call them tweets.
Tweets. So, in a sense, it's the first thing that's on my mind.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus. I done made it. And ain't nobody catch me for all the shit that I did back in them days. Because every day you got to say thank you. Because a man like me, I come from a long lineage of doing some bad shit. So I would just say thank you. That's it. Just thank you.
That's good.
No need.
That's
I
beautiful.
don't have nothing great to say. Sometimes you just got to say thank you.
What a message.
Thank you for letting that thing come out properly.
Family show. This is.
That's right.
Say thank you, everybody.
Just to
What a
say
great
thank
message.
you.
All right, next up, what would Mudbone say about Inside Amy Schumer?
Oh. Now, that Amy is something special. And she's always on them television shows talking about her pussy. And that's the truth. She is. She talks about that every time I see her. She's talking about it. She makes me wonder, well, what it's like? I mean, well, that's all I would want to know. Young girl, please, stop talking about it. Just show it to us now. Yeah. That's it.
That's what you think.
That's it. I think it's about time you show it to us. Yeah.
Well, great.
And got them awards, you might have just well say, hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Let it fly out.
All right, and last, I'm kind of scared to ask this one. What would Mudbone say about Princeton University?
Oh, now this is a nice place.
Oh, that's good.
This is a really nice place. It is. Now, I don't know if you all know that I know that Woodrow a long time. That's right. We used to call him Woodrow. That's right. Just Woodrow. And do you still have that thing where you go in between the gates and the folks can't go in the middle? Well, let me tell you about
Yes,
that.
we have that. We do.
There's a backstory. Now I said, Woodrow, listen to him. Now, to be or not to be is always the question. That's right. But if you're going to go through the middle, you got to be pure. That's right. Pure. So if you ain't pure, you got to go through the sides.
You're talking about the gates outside of Nassau Hall.
That's the gates that I'm
Princeton
talking
University.
about.
Those are the gates.
That's right. Now the peoples that go through the sides. That's right. Because you fools been fooled.
But
right?
you know why people do that, right?
Well, I know why, but what they done told you?
They told me
What
that
they
if
do?
I go through the middle, I'm not going to graduate.
Well, you ain't pure. So that's why you ain't going through the middle. That's right. You got to be pure to walk through that middle, boy. So you
Right.
got to unpure yourself.
Okay. That's good. And that's all you got to say about Princeton
That's
University.
all I got to say about
All
that.
right. Well, can we bring Khalil back to the interview now?
No.
No. Oh, we're just going to say like this.
No, I'm not.
Okay. That was great. Let's get that was great. So now you guys know what Pryor Truth, what the experience is like. I mean, that's pretty similar to what we should expect with Pryor Truth, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Are you tired now? Like,
Yeah, it's a little.
okay. All right. So I guess we'll end it with
It's
this.
always fun, though.
Yeah,
It's always fun.
it seems so. I'm having fun just watching this. What's your goal, ultimate goal for Pryor Truth?
So my ultimate goal for Pryor Truth, I just want to be of service. I think that his life, I think that his work should be praised. I think that he has contributed so much to our society, our culture, the entertainment business, the field. I think I never understood why anyone did not do a one-man show, because I feel that the stage is his magic. That's where it lives. I'm a theater actor. So, there are other realms in a sense that you could highlight his life, give honor to it. But I think that the stage is the best fit. I just use my time to share the story that had, in a sense, affected me, his life. I take from him, I've always been a fan of his work, but he's just fearless. He's just, I strive to be as bold or as fearless and as honest. So in this journey, I'm, in a sense, sharing and opening up more. I'm living out a dream. Pryor Truth, I'm here at Princeton. Like 2 years ago, if you would have said that to me, I'd have been like, I'm going to Princeton? Like, well, okay, I'm going to ride past it on Route 1. But like, I'm here, I'm having this exchange with you. So I do not mind, and I want to share it, with any and everyone, because what he took from his life, his experiences, the man that he was, you're gonna get it. But I think that he always took seriously that people would come to just take in what he had to offer. So I'm trying to go down that same route. The opportunities that come along the way, I'm going to grow. The show is going to grow in a sense because I'm a fan of his work. So I'm just trying to pay homage, to give celebration of his life. So I hope that, wherever we go, but the ultimate goal is Broadway. I'm a theater actor, so,
That would be unbelievable.
the lights.
And just like you say, you're so happy to come to Princeton. We are so happy to have you. Let's give a huge round of applause to Khalil Muhammad again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was such a huge transition from Mudbone. I'm now I'm talking to a